What's going on, Washington fans? We are back with another video, and in today's video, talking about day 6 of Washington Commanders training camp. Now, today was a little bit of a sad day because the Commanders didn't go for full pads today. The 7-on-7 and 11-on-11s, apparently, they didn't have pads on, and they couldn't really go full out. This is disappointing. I really thought today was the day that they were going to hit. The Eagles went to full pads today, but apparently we didn't. I did want to note, none of these clips in this video are mine. You want to wait till the end of the video, though, to get the best clips. I found the best clips and added them to the end of the video. Should have done that at the start. My fault. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I cannot do it without you. Hit that notification bell as well. Let's get into today's practice. As we always start with the house cleaning, Dan Quinn's press conference before practice, I took away one thing, and it was that guard Nate Herbig has retired from the Washington Commanders. Nate Herbig was picked up in free agency this year by this team. I thought Nate Herbig would be a really good player for this team and a good depth piece on the offensive line, but he has retired at the age of 26. Last year, he was lined up to be a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he hurt his rotator cuff and was on IR the whole year. This year, he comes over, he looks like he's going to be a really good depth piece, and some people think he had a chance to start because of Sam Cosmi being out. And he ended up retiring, I guess, because of injuries, and it was a personal decision, Dan Quinn said. So I wish Nate the best moving forward, and he had an okay career, played with a few teams. I'm not sure why he retired, but I guess because of injury. So that happened before practice. Not great news for the Commanders. I really wanted him as a depth piece. I had high hopes for Nate Herbig. But with that aside, let's get to the practice. So guys catching punts today, as I always tell you guys who did that. Jalen Lane, always the top runner for catching punts. KJ Osborne was catching punts today. Casimir Allen was catching punts today. And then Demetric Felton was catching punts today. Those are your guys catching punts. Von Miller, Marshawn Lattimore, Zach Ertz, and Laramie Tunsil all back at team drills today, by the way, for the Commanders. Already Noah Igbenogany and Mike Sammerstow jumping out. So early in today's practice, Mike Sammerstow and Noah Igbenogany were standing out as they have been the whole camp. And then KJ Osborne had a miscommunication on a route early in the practice as well. And then here's the note. Linnell Willingham wrote, no pads on for today's session. Now, I'm assuming he means 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. There was no pads. So he said his observations will be more scheme-related in what they try to do. And then a quick note again, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was getting reps with Jaden Daniels in the number ones in the no-huddle session. So interesting to see JCM getting reps with the ones. I told you guys, he's standing out. He's not your normal 7th round pick. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I'm really excited to see what he has. Linnell Willingham wrote, offensively through 6 practices, I've seen a ton of heavy packages. 12 and 13 personnel used quite a bit. Team had 6th highest rush rate in the NFL last year. Running is in their DNA. If Sinnott can emerge in year 2, will we see more pass plays out of those sets? I think that's interesting. That's a good way to think. Sinnott, we talked about it. Sinnott is he matters a lot this year, to what they can do, what they can use. So 12 and 13 personnel have been used so far quite a bit in, the camp. So that's definitely interesting to hear. Let me see if I have any more practice notes. Kane Madrano had an interception in the play before he broke up a pass. Kane Madrano had a really good day today. I had talked about it. We really didn't hear much about Kane Madrano this whole camp, but Kane Madrano apparently just had a pick off of Sam Hartman. Sam had a really good day today until Kane Madrano picked off a pass. Dorrance Armstrong just tipped a ball. He ends the rough period for the first team offense. So Dorrance Armstrong tipped a ball. That's actually really good to hear. I am really excited for Dorrance this year. I think that he can have a good year. Deebo Samuel had a nice pass or a nice catch on a crosser route from Sam Hartman. And then Bill or Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt continues to run low and hard with burst. So Deebo Samuel and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt doing their thing, continuing to impress. This is one guy we're going to talk about a lot. Chris Moore. He had a really nice day today. Zach Selby wrote, really nice contested catch by Chris Moore. The vet continues to look solid in camp. Who's going to emerge themselves as that sixth wide receiver? Who's going to do it? Is it going to be Ja'Cory Brooks, the young guy? Is it going to be one of these vets? KJ Osborne, Michael Gallup, Chris Moore. One of those guys. Who knows? But Chris Moore looks really good so far. Zach Selby also wrote, I'm liking the way Connerly is moving today. He just had a really solid pull block that allowed Felton to break loose for an explosive run. Demetric Felton, you got to watch out for him. He's having a really good camp. He looks really good so far. He's had experience in the NFL before with the Browns, and he did really well with the Browns. So he's up there. He has tremendous athleticism. I like what I'm seeing from Demetric Felton. He seems like a guy that could just kind of be sneaky and make it over, a guy like Chris Rodriguez. Let's see here. Noah Brown just had a deep ball go through his hands. Beautifully placed ball. Good coverage from Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore continues to look good. Noah Brown, bad drop there. But Noah Brown's at least out on the field and recovered seemingly from his injury. A beautifully placed ball there. I'm not sure who that football was thrown from. Probably Jayden Daniels if it was right in the breadbasket. But Noah Brown, you cannot drop those balls. It's fine though. Ben Standing wrote 2 days in a row with Sam Hartman downfield dart. This one to Deebo on a crosser, as I had talked about earlier. Deebo gets at 1 or 2 chunk play receptions each practice. So Ben Standing said Deebo gets 1 or 2 chunk plays each practice. That's good to hear. Deebo's been having a really good camp. If you did not know that, Deebo Samuel has been having a really good camp so far. I'm excited to see what Deebo Samuel has got in the tank this year. And without Terry being there, we talked about it, this really helps Deebo Samuel a ton. And then here's Chris Moore again. Linnell Willingham writes, Chris Moore hearing from Mikey after a failed deep shot. Mikey's having a camp. So Chris Moore was hearing from Mikey. I'm assuming Mikey was just chirping at Chris Moore after, a failed deep shot. Chris Moore let a ball go right through his hands. Not good to hear for Chris Moore, but good to hear from Mike Samerstow. Mike Samerstow is having just the camp of his life right now. And here's more on him. Zach Selby wrote, a lot of deep passes today. Cornerbacks doing a pretty good job of providing coverage and preventing explosive plays. There's the cornerback room again. I'm going to come out with a video later to talk about it. It's been such a vocal point of training camp so far. This cornerback room this whole secondary looks amazing right now. They look really good. Trey Amos, he just seems like the guy. He seems like a starting cornerback one. He has that swagger on him. Marshawn Lattimore finally seems healthy for once, and he's going to do good. And then we also have, Mike Samerstow going back to his natural home in the slot, playing nickel cornerback, and he's not letting down. And then you also have Noah Igbenogany being the backup for a guy like Mike Samerstow. That's just going to work. It's just going to work. Noah Igbenogany as a depth piece is really nice, man. That's awesome. So the cornerback room continued to impress today. They prevented a lot of explosive plays per Zach Selby as the offense tried to metal the ball down the field. The cornerback room is the no-fly zone. Again, I'm going to come out with a video there because I feel like that should be a talking point. Commanders quarterbacks have consistently dialed up deep. Yeah, so here's what I just talked about. Dialed up deep go shots up the left sideline today and missed twice from Jayden, one from Hartman, I believe. Tight coverage, but overthrows. So the quarterbacks did miss quite a bit of throws today. 2 from Jayden, 1 from Hartman. They were trying to dial it deep today. Probably just working on a few packages. Dan Quinn talked about what they were going to work on today. Seemed like they were working on a few different packages and what they're going to do there. And so the quarterbacks just were dialing up passes, but they didn't seem great. All right, guys. So where were we? No team work for Marcus Mariota today, by the way. That's where we were. Similar to yesterday, Quinn said they'll ramp guys up and then down. Basically, an effort to keep guys fresh before this season. So no Marcus Mariota work today. You're not going to hear any updates from him. JD5 had a deep pass intended for wide receiver Chris Moore in 11-on-11s, but cornerback Mike Samerstow and safety Quan Martin provided tight coverage, which ended up being incomplete. Martin and Samerstow are definitely emerging as the next big defensive duo. I definitely agree, man. I mean, they look really good right now. Josh Connolly was doing extra work before practice begun. Larry Tunsil was right there keeping an eye on him. So it's good to see our, first round pick putting work in, doing some work, and we'll see what he's got, man. Carlin Vigors continues to impress. This has been the guy that has really impressed other than Ja'Cory Brooks in the undrafted free agent room. A great move by Carlin Vigors to get his hands up late and break up a pass to KJ Osborne. Chris Moore, I said we're going to talk about him. And another great reception by Moore today, certainly helping his cause to make the roster. He had a great reception, not sure who it's from. It was just a kind of a blank tweet that I got that from Zach Selby. Linnell Willingham wrote, Chris Moore with a circus catch. Jonathan Jones all over him. PI, clearly. It was an offsides, so Hartman took a shot, and Chris Moore came down with a circus catch, apparently it was PI. Clearly. So Jonathan Jones, not good coverage. Chris Moore, great catch. And then here's Chris Moore down again. Jayden just uncorked a dime deep right through Chris Moore's hands. That's not going to help your cause to make the roster if you're going to go out there and drop balls that Jayden is placing in the bread basket. But Chris Moore did have a good day. He just had a few drops, man. They'll get over it. Josh Connolly was with the second team today, by the way. He was with the first team yesterday. They talked about it. They're going to switch him and Wiley around every single day, getting Connolly used to everything that he could face in the NFL. Deebo made a diving catch in the corner off the field. Great extension catch. While that's great, listen to what Linnell Willingham had to say. Well, first we'll look at JP. JP Finley said, Deebo just laid out for a deep ball. Great catch. Linnell Willingham writes, Jayden deep ball to Deebo, but would have been sacked. So even though it's a great catch by Deebo, great throw by Jayden, Jayden would have been sacked if they had pads on. And this is my thing. Why are you not going to put pads on today? Why are you ducking it? I mean, the Eagles put full pads on. Why can't you put pads on today? And if they would have had pads on today, the defense would have gotten the sack. But instead, Jayden throws a deep ball to Deebo because he didn't get sacked, and it ends up working. But Linnell Willingham wrote, it's been a clunky day for the offense. Again, without your number one weapon, Terry McLaurin. Chris Russell writes, kicker Matt Gay was 4 of 5 today. Last kick was from about 52 yards, was good, which last year he was like 49 yards and in, he was good from, but anything over 50 he wasn't good from. So it's good to hear him hitting 52 yarders. So his last kick from 52 was good, but he did miss from approximately 49 yards. He did miss a kick, but he was 4 or 5 today. We'll take it. Haven't heard much from Matt Gay, but we paid him $5 million. He's just got to go out there and go do his job. The place kicking position should be not a wild card this year. It should be a lock, and just guys, everybody just does their position. Everybody just plays their position. Matt Gay was paid $5 million. Just go out and kick, man. Chris Russell also wrote, Will Harris and Von Miller just strung out Jayden on a keeper on a 3rd and 2 situation. Obviously don't have to tackle, but looked stuffed. So there's another sack for the defense. Will Harris and Von Miller, one of them would have gotten the sack, but without pads, you can't sack. And so Jayden had a 3rd and 2 situation. He just kept the ball. I don't know how far he got, but it would have been a sack again. So, there's the defense getting after him again. I just would have liked to seen Dan Quinn put on pads today, but I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to sit here and whine about not having pads on today. Hopefully they do that tomorrow, man. Dan Quinn talks about ramping things up and then ramping things down. They ramped it up Monday, and then they kind of ramped it back down today. They're going to ramp it back up tomorrow. So I hope to see pads tomorrow. And as always, we do Dula Dula_vision on X. We do his observations. We see what they are today. He's always out at the field. He's a great follow on X. Go follow him. He has great pictures. By the way, I use him for all my thumbnails. Here was his observations today from being there. Deebo has impressed more as a true receiver. He had a great day today. I thought he would be mostly a gadget guy, but his routes are nice too. So he must be doing good routes. The deep ball was not working today. Too many overthrows and a big drop by Chris Moore, as we talked about earlier. And one more thing with Deebo, he was working with the route god. You guys have seen that guy on social media. He was working with the route god, so his routes should be good and crisp. Sam Ristill is having the best camp out of anyone, in my opinion. Sam Ristill, again, I'm making a video about it later. It's too important. He is looking amazing. But let me get this full. Let me skim over this again in case you missed something. Deebo has impressed more as a true receiver. I thought he would be mostly a gadget guy, but his routes are nice too. The deep ball is not working today. Too many overthrows and a big drop by Chris Moore. Sam Ristill is having the best camp out of anyone, in my opinion. So there was Dula's observations for being out there at camp. Seemed like a good day for the offense. JD5 continues to be surgical, but the offense as a whole is not great right now without Terry. Sam Hartman to Deebo for a big gain. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Sam Hartman to Deebo. And then Kaz Allen with a deep ball touchdown to end the period from Josh Johnson. Kaz Allen was a wide receiver, but he seems like I think he was at the running back position this year. And so running backs getting a touchdown, that's interesting. A deep ball touchdown too from Josh Johnson. That's interesting to hear. Kaz Allen obviously fighting for the roster spot. It seems like we see him every single year. But that was practice today, man. It was an interesting day. The offense continues to struggle without Terry. You know, we got the update that, you know, Terry was asking for considerably more than DK Metcalf, and it's a little bit worrisome, but we'll see what happens with this Terry situation. We got to get him under contract, or not under contract. He already is under contract, but we got to get him extended soon. I've said $30 million annually all along. If the two sides just come in together and agree on something, because Adam Peters is not going to pay him enough, and Terry wants more than he should want. But Adam Peters is not thinking about paying Terry enough. So why not just come together at $30 million? It seems perfect, right? But we just have to get that squared away. Just get it squared away by joint practices. You know, I want to dog those teams. So we'll see what we got. The offense continues to struggle. The defense continues to get after them. I hope to see full pads tomorrow. I want to see sacks. I want to see actual hitting. But, you know, if Dan Quinn would put the pads on today, you know, I thought he would. It's disappointing, but, you know, we'll see what we got tomorrow. It should be full pads. Obviously, I'll have my recap out. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the clips. That's going to do it for me. Again, keep your eyes peeled for the video later. I will have a video talking about the Commanders' secondary this afternoon. That's going to do it for me. Hail to the Washington Commanders. As always, you guys have a good one. Training camp day 6 in the books. Full pads on tomorrow. Full hitting tomorrow. Full recap tomorrow. Peace.